All right, Mr. Allen and Riverdog Jenny here for the next episode of Math in the Wild. Today, we got a little bit of trim work to do to finish up our guest room renovation. And we're going to talk about why you can't just do 45s on an inside corner, which would make sense because it should be 90 degrees, right? Divide that by 2, Jenny. 90 divided by 2, that's 45. So, what do we do instead? We're going to need to cope. It's called coping instead of our 45 and 45 for an inside corner. So, what do you think? Should we show them, Jenny? Should we show them what's up? All right, so Jenny and I are here in the second bedroom, Jenny's puppy apartment, as we like to call it, and we are checking this this corner here, this inside corner, which you would think would be 90 degrees, but it's not always the case, Jenny, right? So we're gonna take our speed square and we're gonna check it out. And wobbling back and forth, that's definitely an obtuse over 90 degrees, right, Jenny? That's right. Okay, so now we know it's definitely not gonna work with 245s, but I cut a couple scraps just to show it. So here's a close-up of our speed square here, tucked into the corner, and as you can see, definitely not 90 degrees. Now, that's not all attributed to framing being out of square or something like that. There's also the joint compound, the mud, that the drywallers are going to use to taper out from the corner, causing that obtuse angle, but all the more reason to not use 245s and using coping. So Jenny's looking over at me like, dude, Dad, that doesn't look right. Okay, so we took 245s on a couple scrap boards, and as you can see, there is a gap there. It doesn't hold tight. It's not a good look, right, Jenny? We want it to look real nice for your puppy apartment, isn't that right? Yes, it is. Okay, so we're gonna show you what the cope looks like. So now that we know we can't just do 45 and 45 and call it a day because our inside corners are not necessarily a perfect 90 degrees, and you've got things like the joint compound or the mud that builds up in the corner there and doesn't really allow you to get that nice, clean, tight fit there. So we're going to have to do what's called coping, as we said. Now, the way that coping starts, well, how am I going to figure out how to follow this crazy little design that we got here on this piece of trim? Well, we're actually going to start with a 45-degree cut. And look at that. That paint line there allows me to see, hey, that's where I got to follow with my coping saw so that it will fit up nicely with another piece of trim. Got my grandpa's old coping saw with a fresh blade, of course. I think it's time to get to work. And there we have it, folks, our finished cope here. And yeah, it is kind of weird how we cut back all that, but that allows us to get a nice tight fit on the finished side right here, because that's all that matters, what we see there, right? So if I have anything like the mud we talked about, the joint compound, or other things that might be kind of in the way, this cutout in the back allows it to not get in the way and get us that nice, tight, finished look right there with the cope. And there we have our coped in baseboards. Overall, pretty good fit, not perfect, but hey, I'm not a professional. As they say, do your best, caulk the rest. I think somebody said that. I think my dad told me that one time when we were working on this house, and it was a little difficult to trim out. So, hey, Jen, after doing this, it got me thinking, I wonder if our walls are the only ones that are out of square or, a little weird like that. Let's see here. Hey, Mr. Kempf, are your walls all perfectly square, 90-degree inside corners, or is it a little funky too?
Hey, Mr. Allen. I built my house from the ground up, so I was sure my corners were going to be square. So I checked it, double checked it, and triple checked it. And mine definitely aren't square either. How about you, Miss Fulling?
Thanks, Mr. Kempf. I'm here in W1015, my beautiful room, decked out with all sorts of math goodies. And I wanted to measure the corner here. And looks like it's 90. Wait for it. What in the world? Mr. Allen, I think I have an idea, but I need to go to the source.
Oh, anytime I see one of those angles, I think of Jenny right here. That's an acute angle, Miss Fulling.
Mr. Allen, that's also what I was thinking. Because there's no wobble. It has to be an acute angle. But you know what? Let's shoot over to Mr. O'Neill.
Hey, Miss Fulling, got a 2-for-1 here. Let's check them out. Oh, little obtuse there. Let's check this one. Oh, 0 for 2. How about you, Laser Fraser?
Thanks, Bro Neil. Laser Fraser here. Bro Neil, I was doing a little work in the shop here this morning, and one of these corners caught my eye, and I figured I would check to see if it was square, 90 degrees, or not. So put a little speed square on this thing and check it out. Let's see here. Whoa! That's way off. I believe Mr. Allen told me once that that's called obtuse. What about you, Thorn Dog? Are you 90 degrees at your castle?
Hey, Mr. Fraser. Got my little speed square here. Gonna check this wall in my house. See what we got here. Ooh. You guys hear that? Not working. I think I know what the problem is. Hey, Mr. Allen. Come here, Mr. Allen. Mr. Allen came over today. You can see the height difference there. Ooh, grab the other speed square so we don't drop on the wall. Thanks, Mr. Allen. So now, bigger's better, right? I'm gonna go ahead and try this speed square. Doesn't work. I don't know, Mr. Odachenko, how about you? You gotta work it at your house?
Thanks for asking, Thorn Dog. I was just here admiring my memorabilia from the Cubs World Series in my Costco flannel.
Members only.
And I noticed this corner doesn't look square. I got a pretty good knack for geometry. Not square, that's an obtuse angle also. What about your house, Philpott?
Yeah, or Django, I don't really know, man. I don't know what's going on here, but it's not 90. I mean, you guys have corners in your house? Definitely not a 90-degree angle in my house, man. I don't know what's going on.
So, Jenny, it turns out that a lot of people don't have those perfectly square walls, just kind of like us, right? And we're just hanging out here after trimming out that corner, and we noticed something. There's a cabinet in the way, so we can't even show off this wonderful corner that we took the time to cope. So in the end, even though we can't see that corner perfectly because there's a cabinet in the way, we know that we did the best job, right, Jenny? Best practice is always good. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. America, freedom, rock and roll, Costco, River Dog Jenny on the gram. See ya!